Hello everyone, welcome back to Slides to Coasters podcast, your source for anything and everything theme park, water park, and holiday event related. My name, of course, Brad the Water Parker, your host for this most fantastic show. Today, guys, we have a very special guest, a man, a myth, a legend, a man of whom his name precedes his reputation, a man of whom has been ghosting me for the past 5 months, and I just very recently was able to get in contact with him and actually get him on for at least an hour to discuss theme parks, water parks, and holiday events. It's my very good friend, the Florida fanboy himself, Andrew.
Hello.
All right, Andrew. As you probably already know, because I know you've been keeping up with the show, I traditionally will ask new guys to come on to the podcast. What is your home park? What's your number one wood? And what's your number one steel? So why don't you go ahead and tell the great fans at home a little bit about yourself?
Let's see. Number one wood. My home park switches between SeaWorld Orlando or Busch Gardens Tampa. Depends on the day. Number one steel has to be Intimidator 305. Number one wood. I would say Voyage, but if you do daytime and everything, it's a toss-up between that or Phoenix at Knoebels.
Okay.
Oh, such a great ride.
Yeah, and that is a coaster that I will be getting out to this year, by the way. For those of you guys who are at home, I just did all of my trip planning, and Phoenix at Knoebels is on my trip planning list. That is greenlit, good to go. Now, Andrew, can we just take a second? It is very cold up here in Cincinnati. It is freezing. It is just black. It is nasty. And, how is it down in Florida? Have you been to the parks recently? Like, what's going on?
But been a few months ago. I really love BGT has been good. They just recently did a change. I don't know if people know this, but did a change where they're opening at like noon and then getting off at about 5 or 6, and they're staggering opening different parts of the park now.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Haven't been since then, but yeah, it's not too bad. I heard the lines for New Year's Eve, and from what I was reading from other people, it was crowded for holiday weekends.
Mm-hmm. I heard that it was dead at Disney for Christmas, but it was packed for New Year's.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's, with the current climate, with the pandemic, and with travel, and just everything mixed in between, I know my sister, who will be graciously supplying some great photos. This will actually be out. The photos will be out before you guys see this show, before you guys hear this show. But my sister will be down in Florida. She's going to Disney. She's going to get some photos for us from Magic Kingdom, actually, of the Tron construction, which is halted. But, it's kind of like, yeah, and I know, I said that too when I first heard of it. I keep up with a few Disney blogs and vlogs and just Disney sources in general. And it seems as if the current trajectory is that Tron is just halted. They have scaffolding up to where the interior is closed off. It seems as if they're really trying to hone in and kind of consolidate their expenditures right now. Which, it's kind of like, I get it. Disney is really pushing for a 2022 opening of both Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy. But, Andrew, 2021 is going to be a pretty good year for Florida, too.
Oh, yeah. I have to agree.
Yeah, and I think, you know what? Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute to discuss this because it will be a great time because we're both Florida guys. You're from Florida. I go to Florida often. This would be a great way for us to kind of just talk about something we both love and enjoy because I never get to do this with anyone else.
That is true.
Although you have to meet Top Scan Ethan. He loves Top Scans. I think you would really get along with him very well.
Let's see. I would have to say the three that are new, like the Icebreaker, Velocicoaster, and Iron Gwazi,
Uh-huh.
it's probably going to beat this year's group, just those three alone.
Oh, hands down. Hands up. You know, but let's actually talk about 2021 for a second. Kind of break it down for the audience at home. We are going to throw in White Lightning here because this was installed very recently, and I know that a lot of people who are going to Florida are going now into February. But you know, White Lightning, Andrew, this is a conversion. It's now a hybrid wood steel, so that's steel track now. We have a lot of cool things to look at with White Lightning. You know, it's going to be smoother. It's going to be more fun, in my opinion. I've heard a lot of great things coming out of that coaster, by the way. I have a few friends of mine.
I know for you, you would rather see, what was it? The one at Kissimmee,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Well, and
rather than White Lightning.
and it's funny because White Lightning is very smooth. When I rode it,
I
it was
know.
smooth. Mind Blower is rough. And it's kind of like, I think that Mind Blower above White Lightning, at least for the corkscrew portion, and maybe some of the back bit with some of the curves, they really need to go on in and smooth it out. Maybe it's a retrack. I don't personally know. But White Lightning was one of those coasters that I really enjoyed. It's a really nice
Gorgeous
little
size, yeah.
GCI. Yeah. And people, you know, I've heard this time and time again. People always tell me when they go to Florida, well, I go to Disney. Well, I go to Universal. Well, I go to SeaWorld. Why would I go to Fun Spot? Fun Spot actually has some pretty good coaster credits. And White Lightning and Mind Blower. If you don't
And
want
they
your back.
added a newer one this year.
Yeah.
That came from, I haven't rode that one yet, but
It was the Valdosta,
Wild
Georgia
Adventures, yeah.
Wild Adventures. I believe it's called Viking now.
It was
if I'm
called
not mistaken.
Viking. Now it's called something different now, but it was a Viking theme.
It is now Hurricane. Yeah, it's Hurricane. I just looked it up on RCDB real quick. Which I did get to ride that, by the way. It's pretty fun. I actually enjoyed it. You know, again, it's something that is new, something that's different. I think that the only problem with Hurricane is the fact that it's placed in a different part of the park. So you actually have Old Town, and then you have the coaster sitting out way out to the side. That was my only gripe.
Oh, in the parking lot area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I know what you're talking about. They actually used to have a roller coaster there many, many years ago, and
It was a kiddie coaster. While he lags out a little bit.
Old
Sorry
Town
about
used to
that.
actually have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on here, you know,
Yeah.
another great coaster that I'm really looking forward to is Icebreaker. Now, Icebreaker is a premier ride skyrocket. So that's per RCDB. It is a shuttle style attraction. You know, it goes back and forth, but it has a pretty solid layout, Andrew.
That and where it's in the park, it's kind of nice, and it's needed because they have 3 huge B&Ms instead of now this is a family one. So I'm thinking it's going to be more popular than Iron Gwazi, honestly, because kids can ride it.
Well, you know, it's always really... So for myself, I always said that they need to add a wave breaker. The wave breaker ride down at SeaWorld San Antonio. They need to add that.
It looks better than that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I always said that they should add that at SeaWorld Orlando. And here we are, we got Icebreaker, and I'm like, wow. This is amazing. This is new, innovative, fresh. It's very different than the whole entire layout. You know, when you talk about SeaWorld, you got like Manta, Mako, Kraken, Journey to Atlantis. Not a lot of launched coasters besides the tire wheels on Super Grover's box car derby, which used to be called the Shamu coaster.
Yeah.
Which I do have that credit, by the way, when I was a kid. I do have that credit for everyone.
I have the credit too. I was small enough for that.
Yeah. For everyone who sits there and rides these coasters as adults, I rode this as a kid. So you guys can just, But I think that it's going to be pretty interesting to have the whole entire layout kind of enhance and evolve away from just having the B&Ms and having the one mock, and really advancing into a brand new era for the park itself.
And with the rumors of what's going to happen next, it's going to look, if that actually happens, oh my word, that's going to be a good park.
Yeah. So, moving on here, let's talk a little bit about something else. And this is actually, Andrew, we talked about this before, and I think that we're probably going to have an argument. Because I personally have Velocicoaster at my number 3 most anticipated for Florida right now. You have Velocicoaster at number 1.
Wait. What's above Velocicoaster besides
Iron Gwazi?
Iron Gwazi.
Iron Gwazi, there's nothing else coming to Florida. What are we talking about? There's nothing else.
Number 3 in Florida.
No, okay.
Coming to Florida.
Okay, sorry. It's my number 2 coming to Florida. I'm sorry.
RMC fanboy.
I'm not an RMC fanboy. Let's talk about this for a second. Because I think this is going to become a really big argument. I think that Velocicoaster has it. I think that Velocicoaster has everything that we want in a coaster design, and layout, and elements. And theming. And I'm not saying that, it couldn't become my number 1 out of Florida. I'm not trying to say that, but, Iron Gwazi, it just looks so good.
It does dominate the skyline, yes.
You cannot tell me.
Concern.
Okay, alright, tell me your concerns. Because you cannot tell me that Iron Gwazi, doesn't look amazing.
It does. My concerns with it is, number 1, the people who ride it, like down in Florida, aren't used to that style of ride. There might be people who won't ride it because there's no OTSR, anything over the shoulders when it goes upside down. Like my dad won't ride it for that reason. You also have people who never ridden anything like that before. It might be too intense for most people used to Universal or Disney.
Oh, get out of here. Get out. You cannot tell me that, because Sheikra. Sheikra's pretty intense. You got Cheetah Hunt is intense.
It's fun, but not intense. Kumba is just rough. It's not intense.
Kumba's fun. Get out of here.
Nah. There's a lot of people I know that do not like Kumba. It's too rough for them.
So let's break down Velocicoaster real quick, and then we'll move on to Iron Gwazi, because I think that
it's got your. I can't believe Iron Gwazi above Velocicoaster, being that how much you love dinosaurs and Jurassic Park.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Jurassic Park, but this is making it Jurassic World too. So like.
Oh.
Yeah, which you know how I feel about Jurassic World. I love it, but I love Jurassic Park more.
It could be considered rethemed, just like what they're going to do with.
That's the current.
What they're planning to do with.
That's the current idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Velocicoaster, as per RCDB, you're getting a height of 155 feet, which is the top hat, by the way. 70 miles per hour, and in fact, on that top hat, if I remember correctly, they do have a little trim at the top. You want to talk.
Yep.
You want to talk about a coaster that has a really nice layout and has some amazing theming. You're talking about Velocicoaster. So lay out your reasons why Velocicoaster, in your opinion, might be better than Iron Gwazi.
Theming, I think both of them have issues with the capacity, with how popular the parks are. I think both of them going to have issues with that.
Okay.
But just this theming, the layout, you see, but it does dominate Skyline as well a little bit. So both of them do that. The difference for me is just, I think it's going to be a smoother and probably better ride, and especially the new restraints. It's going to have the new intimate restraints, so it's going to have better restraints than Iron Gwazi as well.
Okay, you have me there. You actually make a pretty good point. But and plus it's a launch. I'll give you that. It is a launch. You
a
got
decent
me.
launch too, not like a slow launch.
With Iron Gwazi, you have a height of 206 feet tall, 206 foot drop. That is per RCDB, reaching a max speed of 76 miles per hour. So 70 miles per hour versus 76 miles per hour. It's going to have a barrel
most people,
roll.
That's not much of a difference, though.
It's going to have an overbank curve, a 0G stall. It's going to have a lot of fun elements on it.
Which one's going to have more airtime? Is the question.
That's the question. And I think, Andrew, that if Velocicoaster, which it looks like Velocicoaster is going to have a lot of airtime, if Velocicoaster, and we'll ride this upcoming summer, we'll ride both of them, and we'll kind of give the viewpoints on them. But
I have coworkers. I determined that we're going to close down where I work, and all of us just go down there and ride it.
Yeah, I think that just in general, my mindset right now is Iron Gwazi has the design, it has the layout, and I think that Velocicoaster has the intensity. And as I talk about it, Andrew, I think that you're right. And I think that Velocicoaster might be a better coaster. The more I talk to you about this, the more, and I'm not joking around, by the way. A lot of people say that I do some of these things as like theatrics. I'm being dead serious. The more I start thinking about it, Iron Gwazi is very anticipated, but just thinking about the theming, thinking about the layout, I think Velocicoaster might rank better for me.
Yeah, and they have longer trains as well, which would possibly help, where Iron Gwazi might not. And as I said, my problem is most of those people who live in Florida never experienced anything like Iron Gwazi before. And another thing, they're going to go in expecting something like Steel Vengeance, which brings up the point when you go ride a ride, not to expect anything, just to experience it.
Now, just to put it in perspective here for a second, Steel Vengeance currently sits at my number 1. Maverick is at my number 6, right behind Iron Rattler, just in front of Goliath at Over Georgia. Now.
Oh, that's such a good ride.
Oh, I know, buddy. I know. I freaking know. I do believe that if it runs like Steel Vengeance, it might rank a little bit better. However, if it runs like Maverick, it might be better than Iron Rattler. Because Iron Rattler, it's just like when it comes down to nitty gritty, IRAT and Maverick are very close for me. So if Velocicoaster runs better than Maverick, I mean, shoot, I don't know. We're gonna have to ride this because now
you have to discuss which is better now. Like, Kings Island, Cedar Point. Like, if we keep getting good rides down in Florida, would Florida be better to call the roller coaster capital of the world besides Cedar Point?
Well, you see, the thing about Florida, and this is what I tell people all the time, and this is actually a really great way to kind of talk about Florida, because I think that we haven't really been able to do that a lot here. The thing about Florida that everyone has to remember is the fact that it is not just, so many people consider all the parks as one park. So, Islands of Adventure and Universal, a lot of people consider them as one park. The Disney parks as one park. The SeaWorld parks as sometimes one park, but they're so freaking distant that we just don't talk about that. But when it gets down to nitty gritty, I think that SeaWorld Busch, with their concept, with going and creating these big coasters and these smaller coasters now, look at Busch Gardens for a second. Tigress, Iron Gwazi. Before Tigress, we got what? Cobra's Curse?
Mm-hmm.
Very
I
nice,
love Cobra's Curse.
very nice, very fun attractions. Look at
Yeah,
SeaWorld.
and you could stay inside while
Yeah.
waiting for the ride, basically,
Look at SeaWorld. You have.
as if you're in AC and cover above from the sun is vital while waiting in line.
Mm-hmm. SeaWorld, you have
That's something Kings
the
Island doesn't have.
you have the Kraken retheme. You have Mako. You have Icebreaker now. You look at Islands of
Yeah,
Venture. You have Hagrid's. You have Velocicoaster,
Hulk.
Hulk, well, new Hulk, yeah, I'll give you that. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, what I'm seeing here is the
Universal has Rip Ride Rocket, Mummy, which is
mhm.
actually decent.
The Florida parks are starting to catch on to the coaster phase. And maybe, of course, you don't have to go all out. Like, and I think the prime example is you look at Busch Gardens or SeaWorld versus Universal. The conversation of which one's going to be better, Iron Gwazi or Velocicoaster. Does the stats?
Like in different ways, they're both good.
They're both great. They're probably going to both rank in my top 10. But at the same time, it's like one of them is 150 feet tall, around 150 feet tall. It's about 155, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's about 200, a little bit above 200. So the difference of 50 feet. Now, Andrew, you know my stats, you know my rankings. A lot of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
coasters out there are in the 160 to about 155, 150 to about 200. That's usually where my butter zone is. I've always told people if you want to know my favorite coasters, there's usually in that statement. And, you can probably guess what I like. You see that with Goliath at over Georgia, Mako, Diamondback being over Orion. You have Banshee up there at number 3 still, which I still love and adore. Iron Rattler, Maverick.
Hey, it's you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I have oh, what is it? What's one that I really love that most people don't really love?
And
And like I
Vertigo?
would view, and Vertigo is pretty good, but like uh, I was thinking more so like I would view Affengeist better than I like Affengeist better than like one of my top 3 inverts, and how I don't like Batman the Rides. I think they're all junk, and Afterburn's junk.
Afterburn's okay. But, I think that we both. And this is something that you guys have to understand about Andrew. Andrew's a very good friend of mine. He's a guy who. There's a few people on my contact list I say I'd bring to a theme park. Andrew's one of them. Anthony's one of them. Ryan's one of them. And Ethan's one of them. Mike
And
is one
doing
of
this
them.
year, we realize we have similar taste in many ways.
Mm-hmm. And, it's just kind of like. When it gets down to it, and Andrew, I think you could agree. I think that the diversity that Florida is bringing is the reason why
Yeah,
I'm so enthralled, the reason why I'm so excited. You have a diversified portfolio now to where originally it was like, okay, you got like Mind Blower, okay, you got Slinky Dog, you got Space Mountain, you got
hey, Slinky
Mako.
Dog's not a bad ride
Slinky
actually.
Dog
One
is really
thing,
fun.
yeah,
Slinky Dog is really fun.
I'm waiting for a time traveler to come to Universal or Busch Gardens or SeaWorld.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I think
oh,
that in the future, where do you see the parks going right now, Andrew? I mean, you're the Florida guy.
definitely more thrilling rides.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to, especially like SeaWorld, they're trying to bring it. I don't know, I think with everything going on, that they might hold it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
but their idea is try and bring people in and keep them, I keep them writing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's be good. I don't like how they got rid of some of their shows, but they did have some outdoor shows for the holiday events,
Mm-hmm.
which I did enjoy that. Which I enjoy that idea. I think they should need bring back some shows. Speaking of which,
Oh,
the
here we go.
Universal added a new show which I saw previews of it on YouTube. Oh my word! I have to go see that.
By the way, if you guys don't know, this guy's a guy who you want to talk to about shows. So, like, if you see him on the Discord, he's, I believe, did I make your name Florida Man?
Yes,
I think I made your name Florida Man. Hold on.
yes.
Yeah. The resident Florida Man. Talk to him in theme parks about shows. He will love to talk to you about them. This guy, I remember this. We're driving on over to Holiday World for Hollywood Nights, and we're listening to the Ho'opo, the Holiday World official podcast. Um, and we started talking about shows, and I'm just like, Andrew, why do you like all these shows? Like, how? And it's really fascinating because he likes a lot more of things I don't personally care for. But at the same time, we do blend, and even though Andrew is sometimes very verbose and very trolly, he is very extreme. I think you could agree with that, right, Andrew?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Uh, we both have similar tastes. We could rattle off coasters. We could both kind of say, yeah, we kind of agree on
And
everything.
food. You
And
have to
food.
agree. You have to agree that Dolly. Oh my word! Some of the food we during that time. Oh,
Oh
my
man,
word!
cinnamon pull up. We need to have a discussion about that trip because I actually had a whole entire discussion. I tried to message you to get on, and I guess you were just busy. But we actually had a show about that, and I actually talked about the fact that we went down to Dollywood. Um, Man, you want to talk about a fun time? You want to talk about a fun trip? Andrew and we had a
I don't know
blast.
what was better, cinnamon bread or the apple barn.
Oh man, do you want to know? Like, man, oh man, I know this is a very random show for you guys who are watching. This is very different. Something I think we might do more often here during the off season because this is just a way for us to kind of hang out and just talk. Um,
But Mike Lennox. Oh my word!
Mike
Oh
Lennox.
my word!
If you guys don't know, we're talking about our little mini trip that we had this year, and we went to Mike Lennox, and they are a really great fish place down in Florida. Not Florida, Louisville, Kentucky. Sorry, I'm thinking of Florida right now. I'm looking. I'm looking at Coast to Coaster, looking at SeaWorld Orlando right now. But Mike Lennox is a really good fish place down in Louisville. If you go to Kentucky Kingdom, I always say if you're going to Kentucky Kingdom, you might as well stop off at Mike Lennox. It's about 20-30 minutes away. But if you're going to do something like Kentucky Kingdom, then go to Holiday World for Hollywood Nights, or something to where you're going from Holiday World to Kentucky Kingdom, definitely would recommend, because you can get through Kentucky Kingdom pretty quickly. Go to Mike Lennox, try them out. I love them. The lunch special, which is really nice and very filling. Andrew can agree. It's really nice. It's really great.
That tartar sauce, though.
Oh, the tartar sauce.
Speaking, one thing that you're not mentioning, I think what's going to be, well, going back to like theme parks and everything, I think one thing, you talk about Florida and everything, well, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are combined, and people compare that to one. There's also, if you get the Platinum Pass and they're all around the 9 states, Pantheon's going to open next year as well. So to me, that'll be like the
coup d'etat.
Yeah, like you can go to all three next year.
Well, and you know what's
with just
funny?
One pass.
What's funny is the fact that we are now recently getting rumor, and I believe that it's been confirmed by their website. Busch Gardens Williamsburg might be going 365.
Love that.
They might be opening in January 16th. So,
I love that park.
I don't know what they're doing. I know that Busch Gardens. There's some Busch Gardens fan site talking about it.
Oh, probably BGW fan.
I think that's what it was. But I think they're talking about the fact that the ticket price, which I'll go on here right now, actually. Continue the site. Let's just go to buy tickets.
But yeah, like BGW, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, is by far one. Like, if you're talking about the two chains that I love the most, like Universal's nice, Disney's nice, I can get used to that. But I love like the Hershey parks for the most part, like Dollywood and Silver City, and then you add the SeaWorld SeaWorld parks. I think that's the two top chains for the parks, just because of everything.
I found it here. It's on the 2 Park 2021 Fun Card. And it says valid between January 15th till September 12th. So, parking, service, and fees not included. Valid between. But then it goes on to say, for Water Country USA, May 22nd through September 12th. So, Andrew,
maybe they open on weekends, though.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe they do something like a weekend food deal, maybe something that's interesting like that. But at the same time, they also have a New Year ticket sale, which has March 5th through October 31st. So,
sounds like, I know they usually open March or April, so
yeah,
they might be doing that.
So I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye out for it. But Andrew, I think you're right. I think you're right when you say that, SeaWorld Busch. Again, I want to get down SeaWorld San Antonio for Texas Stingray. I want to go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg sometime. I'm sure it's not going to be this year yet, but maybe within the next 2 years. Pantheon's going to be a big deal. SeaWorld, just in general, is just a huge deal this year. But I think the future's going to be bright. I think we got a lot of cool stuff coming to Florida. I am looking forward to having you on more often if you're willing, because I think conversations like these are always fun. I think that's a great way for people to kind of see a different side slides coasters. We're not always as corporate.
Talking about slides part, you also get the water parks included with Busch Gardens and all that, and they're actually better than the ones up in Ohio.
I will not disagree. I will not disagree on that one.
But and then Universal, you could also get the Disney water parks with the Disney Pass, and Universal, you get with Volcano Bay.
Yeah, and the issue with Disney's fact that ticket price is so expensive. Universal's pretty cheap. SeaWorld similarly, but the only problem with SeaWorld Orlando, and this is my only gripe, is that they offer the payment plan only for Floridian residents. It's a big thing in Florida to offer a Floridian discount. I'm not a huge fan just because I go to Florida often, and of course I don't live in Florida, but I go to Florida often, almost to the point where I could probably use a pass, but I have to go ahead and buy a pass from like SeaWorld San Antonio. Or if I feel like going out there, and if I feel like getting the pass and just going back, go to like Sesame Place real quick, pick up my pass and go.
Well, that's another one on the pass as well. You go to Sesame Place, which opened a newer wooden coaster a few years ago as
Oscar's
well.
Wacky Taxi, yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of have a water park there. SeaWorld San Antonio has a water park. You have California when it opens; they have a water park.
Well, and that's Emperor.
San Diego, not San Antonio.
Dive coaster's coming out for Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego.
Yes, that's another one. Oh yeah.
So I think that we got
a lot
of
that one goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I might get out SeaWorld San Diego this year. I don't really know yet. But what I do know is I'm very excited for 2021. I do know that I might go ahead and bite the bullet and buy my season pass at SeaWorld Orlando because I have a feeling I'm not going to get out.
I'll tell you this much: the reason why to buy it if you buy it at another park like in Virginia or Texas or California or Texas because it's the cheapest, you only get certain perks to Texas. If you go like what you're saying, you go 3 or 4 times, you get better perks at that park. So if you're going to go to that park 3 or 4 times, it's better to get it at the Florida parks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think with that being said, I think that's good.
And just to point this out, like I said, there's different ones like you have bronze, silver, platinum, fun card. Not everyone needs annual pass. And something most people don't realize, SeaWorld Orlando has a annual pass holder lounge.
Yep.
Where you get free drinks. And Universal has a pass holder lounge as well. Didn't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And to me, that's a huge value.
Yeah.
I just wish Busch Gardens had that. And you get free digital pictures all year for at a certain level. Like silver above, you get free digital pictures. And if you get a platinum, you get like 2 free printed pictures each year. As well as, now that it's a new edition, before they would you could ride twice. Now they don't allow that, but you get 1 quick queue per day for a platinum pass holder member.
Huh. I will definitely consider that. With that being said, I think we're going to wrap it up here, Andrew.
Yep.
I think this is a really great way for people to get to know you, and as well for people to get to know how we feel about the theme parks, water parks, and holiday events down in Florida. I'm excited to go back. I can't wait to go back down to Florida. I miss it. I can't wait to go back down without a mask one day when the worldwide health pandemic's over.
Did you ever... Yeah. Did you ever ride Montu in the back row?
I do not remember. I cannot say off the top of my head. I will ride it in the back row.
Okay, we're going to have to ride Montu in the back row.
Yeah.
That is a kick in the butt ride right there.
Yeah. So with that being said, stay tropical, everyone, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.